And how do you follow that? First of all, well done. I'm very proud to have worked with you as Minister for Disabilities, and I absolutely stand by you. There is absolute ambition here. There is what should be and what can be. And there's no point in anybody standing up and pretending that things can be fixed overnight or can be sorted overnight. But what they can be is set on a route that ensures a rights-based approach is delivered by this government, next government, whoever, but on a consistent basis. There has been an increase in spending, an increase in commitment, a wrestling with things, grabbing them by the scruff of the neck, and you have been amazing in doing that. So I know I can stand up here and give out about the things that aren't happening, not because there's a failure of passion and action on your part, but actually because I know that there's a minister who's prepared to deliver as much as is absolutely possible. So things like we said, scrap the panel system, it's terrible, and we see that happening. And in fact now we can look at those counties and see how is that happening, how do we get to it, can we do that elsewhere? And I know that there's a commitment. I had to deal with Bernard Gloucester in the context of Tusla and mother and baby home and issues there, and he was fantastic. He took a personal interest in anything that I asked him to do. He went way beyond what would ever have been expected. So having him at the helm of the HSE, I really welcome, and I think it's a fantastic thing. You know, we need discretion, we need to be nimble and agile is what it will be out in business. But actually we need a nimble and agile approach to cater for what is needed. You know, so all of that is really important. The Green Paper, Senator Cummins has actually said it, but I want to read it out again. A Green Paper is a government proposal on how to improve something or solve a problem. It doesn't claim to be the best way or the only way. Its real purpose is to encourage thinking and discussion and to prompt suggestions. The consultation period is still ongoing. It was to have closed in December. Minister Humphreys has extended that to the 15th of March. It is ongoing. There are people who have made submissions into that already, and anybody else is very welcome to get in, criticise the things that you don't agree with, make sure that you put them on the record. But the idea of scrapping something and saying that those who have made submissions were just going to bin all of that is disingenuous to the hard work that's gone on and the submissions that have been made. I do hear, and I know the disability sector are unhappy with some of the things in the Green Paper, there's no doubt about that. But then get in and criticise it, get in and critique it, get in, use it to stimulate what should be there, because all of those things will be proposed. And the note that I got from the Taoiseach's office is that it isn't a final reform design. It isn't final. The whole point of consultation is that it isn't final. The optional protocol, I am a champion of, as I very much hear yourself as well, is that we really do. We need to be ratifying that. We need to be implementing it as quickly as possible. I would point out that commitments were made that once the assisted decision-making capacity was in place, that then we would be able to move on. I know that from the Disability Matters Committee and from the Children's Committee, because we heard it in both venues. And so it does feel like we're reneging on that commitment, when I know that in heart we're not. But we do need to figure out what are the impediments. I understand that there's human resources, there will be reports, there will be all of that, when in actual fact we're desperate over here trying to deliver on services. And we need all hands on deck to make sure that we're doing that. So I do understand that. It is included in our own motion, and as a consequence I don't support the amendments in this regard and on this occasion. I want to give the final word to one of those parents. I've spoken about the people who have spoken publicly. I haven't spoken about the people who I know privately and I've sat with and I've cried in their kitchens. But the words that mother, Gail, of Luca would say, we have been left to rot. You know, that we are incarcerated, that we are invisible. And whatever we do, we've got to challenge that feeling, that experience, and make sure there's a reassurance. And I do believe that coming out of the motion today, there would be a reassurance that we're most certainly hear that. We most certainly not just hear it, we're not just empathetic for its sake, but actually with every fibre of our being, we are delivering on making sure that that situation is no more. Thank you.
Senator Seery.